They said it was a lesson. A lesson. That's what my parents called it when they took my 5-year-old daughter, left her at a church 2 towns away, and let me believe she was missing for 8 hours because I refused to lend my sister $25,000 8 hours of hell. 8 hours of begging, calling, searching, screaming. 8 hours of thinking my daughter, my only child, was gone. And when they finally found her and brought her back, they smiled. Maybe now you'll learn family matters more than money. I didn't say a word. Not then. Not when the police arrived. Not when my sister cried about forgiveness. I just watched them one by one. Every face in that room. That was the moment I stopped being their son. I was never supposed to be this man. I grew up believing in loyalty, in sacrifice. My parents built that belief. They preached it every Sunday over dinners and birthdays, family above all. But what they meant was obedience above all. They used guilt like a leash, love as a cage. When I said no to my sister's demand for money, she needed to save her boutique that was already drowning in debt. They decided to punish me, and my daughter became the pawn. That day, when I held my little girl in my arms, she asked, "Daddy, why did Grandma leave me?" I couldn't answer. I just held her tighter. Inside, something broke quietly. Not my heart, my patience. The police called it a misunderstanding. My parents were cooperative. My sister was remorseful, and I was the one told to move on. I did. At least that's what they thought. I smiled at family dinners again. I sent them holiday gifts. I even helped my sister with a small loan of $2,000. They thought I had forgiven them. But forgiveness was never part of my plan. I just needed time. And time, I learned, is the most powerful weapon if you know how to use it. 2 months later, I made my first move quietly. It began with numbers. My father's company's financials, he'd asked me years ago to help digitize them. My sister's business registered under his name for tax reasons. My mother's donations to the church recorded as charity, rerouted to a personal account. They had built their empire on manipulation. They thought I never noticed, but I had all the receipts. I spent nights gathering everything. Screenshots, statements, recordings, every hidden transfer, every lie disguised as a favor. Then I waited for the right stage, one where truth could be used legally, the custody hearing for my daughter. My wife had filed for divorce after the incident. She said she couldn't live with my silence. She didn't understand it wasn't weakness, it was strategy. When her lawyer dragged me through accusations of negligence, I stayed calm because I knew what was coming. The court ordered a background check on everyone who had temporary custody of my daughter during the incident, including my parents. That's when everything began to unravel. 2 weeks later, the court requested financial disclosures. My parents' accounts were flagged for irregularities. The church donations traced back to shell accounts. My father's company linked to my sister's bankrupt boutique through falsified loans. And in one quiet hearing, my attorney revealed the documents one after another. No anger, just facts. The judge's tone turned cold. My mother's face drained of color. My father looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time. They weren't just losing credibility. They were losing everything they'd built, the company, their reputation, their silence. And then came the final blow. The court investigator revealed that my sister's loan request, the one I refused, was tied to money laundering for a fraudulent supplier. My refusal had saved me. Their manipulation had destroyed them. That was the secret that shut them up. Outside the courthouse, my father tried to speak. His lips trembled. He wanted to say something that would make it all right again. But I walked past him. I looked at my reflection in the glass doors, cold, tired, unrecognizable, and whispered the words he'd always said to me as a child. Family above all. Then, I smiled because finally I understood what that really meant. They lost everything in months. My sister moved states to avoid charges. My parents sold their house to cover legal fees, and I got full custody of my daughter. She sleeps peacefully now. No more nightmares. No more fear of being left alone. Sometimes I sit by her bed and watch her breathe soft, steady. And I remember the church steps, the cold wind, the silence. That was the moment he became who I was meant to be. Not their obedient son, not their easy target, but the man who learned that revenge doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be precise. So when people ask why I don't talk to my family anymore, I tell them the truth. I didn't cut them off. They cut themselves off. The moment,